iRacing is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all around the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics, engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 170,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsports organizations like NASCAR to deliver virtual races based on the real-life NASCAR Cup Series, as well as many other series on the NASCAR ladder. iRacing also features team racing, providing a variety of options for members to create and manage their own teams, race with friends or real-world teammates in full-length endurance events like the 24 Hours of Daytona, Spa 24, or the Bathurst 12 Hour. Additional partners include IMSA, World of Outlaws, Supercars, and IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own Indianapolis 500, Bathurst 1000, Chili Bowl, and many more iconic events. This is iRacing, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car. Sign up today at iRacing.com.
Good afternoon, race fans, and welcome once again to the Joe Six-Pack Racing League Pick'em Up Cups. Tonight we are here at round number 6 here at Phoenix. We are looking at another good race here as we have cars out on track here for qualifying, trying to put down their best times. Of course, tonight we have the Canadian Convoy 90, presented by the sponsor in the top right of your screen, Greg's Lawn and Care. We are wrapping up qualifying here, about halfway in, halfway to go. We'll show the times as they stand. So far, Sam Dryce on pole right now. Once again, that 78 machine, always quick in qualifying. Second place right now, we got Ethan Michaels. Third place, we got Keith Fonseca. Fourth is Rob Lowell. And rounding out your top 5 as they stand just inside of 28 second lap is David Hartney, as he actually gets just knocked out by Jason Wiley in the 13. So that will round out the top 5 as they stand. We'll go to a car on track, let's say, and see who is also out here. It looks like we have Wes Frank Norman out here in that 72 Dirtbag clothing machine. Tonight he will be in the Re-Rise to Fall truck. So a pretty cool scheme out of that 72 camp. I heard some pretty cool schemes from all the Dirtbag drivers out here tonight, so we'll have to keep an eye on those trucks as Wes Frank hits his first lap here. We'll see where he slots in on the timing and scoring. Right now, P10. We'll see if he can do a better lap this second lap. As he comes out of turn 4, for the final time. We are at the new Phoenix here, so different layout. The start-finish line, of course, right here coming out of... Well, I guess that would be turn 3. I think there's only 3 turns in here now. Still getting used to this new layout, as Wes Frank Norman was not able to better his time, so he will be in the 5th position as they stand right now. Everyone has taken a lap. Everyone has set their qualifying time, so I believe this will be the starting order of tonight's race. While we got a minute, we will go talk about the race info for the Canadian Convoy 90 presented by Greg's Lawn and Garden Care. As you see there, folks, a little different here, the open dog leg so people can cut through the turn. Looking about 85 degrees out here tonight. Of course, the Joe Six-Pack Racing League is presented by the following: LugCoin, Soma Coffee, Plan B sales. Be sure to use code JSP at checkout for free shipping. DTL Custom Graphics. And of course, if you want to hear the voices behind the cars, the inner works of how maybe leagues run or some cool facts, be sure to check out the Joe Six-Pack podcast. As qualifying finish on up here, and we will get going here for the starting grid. We got cars down on the field here, so we will go through once again the starting grid. Tonight, with the Quick Time Award, goes to once again the 78 of Sam Dryce. Starting to his outside is Ethan Michaels in the 01. Starting on the inside of row 2 is Keith Fonseca in the 61. Starting to his outside is Rob Lowell in the 21. And rounding out your top 5 is Jason Wiley in the 13. 6th place is David Hartney in the 97. 7th is Matthew Wheeler in the 60. 8th is Doug Neal in that Simbox 77 machine. David Lamaga will be rolling off P9. And rounding out your top 10 is Wes Frank Norman in the 72. 11th will be Kevin Gironi in the 8. 12th is Brad Yuckman in the 93. 13th is Joe Nelson in the 76. 14th, Michael Rosenberger in the 55. 15th is Johnny Barker in the 6. 16th is John Humphrey in the 4. 17th, Jeff Crosby Sr. in the 33. 18th is Eli Raposa in the 46. And rounding out your field tonight is Mike Killingbeck in the 70. So some fast cars out here tonight. A very stout field of 19 trucks. It should be a good one as we see the field start to roll off. We'll go up to the leaders here. This track will be a tricky one, folks, with everything going on. One of the toughest things here is the dog leg, so you can go as low as you want after you hit the start-finish line to cut that turn. And the key is to not cut it too much and make contact with another car. As the pace car is down pit road, we will wait for the green lights to fire on off. It's a long stretch here that we gotta wait for the green lights. Everyone ready in anticipation to get underway for the Canadian Convoy 90, presented by Greg's Lawn and Garden Care. As we wait for the green flag is waving. We are racing here. As we see already the 70 of Sam Dryce all the way to the bottom, making that track as short as possible. Ethan Michaels trying to carry that momentum on the high side. He will challenge for the lead here early, right to his right rear quarter panel, trying to make sure that he gives him room. It's a drag race here as the 21 into the outside wall here early. He's going to lose a few spots because of, but we'll look back up to the front as the 01 trying to carry the momentum, trying to roll that high side on that 78 machine. As he continues to float that high side, that 01 carrying a lot of speed on that high side. We just got to make sure that he can keep those tires underneath him for this first stint, because even though he's carrying some good speed, he's got to keep those tires under control. As he does the crossover move now to the inside, the 01 should take this position. As what an awesome move by Ethan Michaels there to try and take this race lead. Now has the preferred line going into turn 3. Sam Dryce will try and roll that momentum on the top side, but give the spot to Ethan Michaels. We'll now see if Sam Dryce will do the crossover, which he does. 78 now to the inside of the 01 going into turn 3. The 01 not quite enough to do the crossover here, so he will be stuck on the high side carrying that momentum. But don't look too far back. The 60, 61, and 13 all within striking distance of these leaders as they continue to battle back and forth. Some great racing here early on, folks, early in this race. As the 60 machine, a little bit loose, Matthew Wheeler will lose a position, maybe two, as now David Hartney in the 97 Dirtbag Silent Theory machine tries to apply the pressure to the 60. Now Keith Fonseca applying the pressure to Ethan Michaels. This is what Sam Dryce, the leader, wants to see as they battle for second. This will allow Sam to check on out a little bit more, but that 61 machine putting the power down and on a mission here early, as he is even closing in on Sam Dryce as they are battling for second. Already on lap, coming to lap 7 of 90, and this race has been action-packed. All sorts of side-by-side battles, almost 3 wide throughout this field, so we'll see him fan out, especially once we get some late race restarts. 3, 4 wide down this dog leg, as you see here, just how far cars are willing to go down, where they're willing to go, pretty much, especially in a late race restart. You go wherever a car is not. As we see David Lomaga there just get the outside wall, he will lose that position to the 8 of Kevin Gironi. See, Keith Fonseca does get the position over Ethan Michaels, so move him up into P3. But Ethan still trying to apply the pressure to that 61 car. As we see here, Sam Dryce under fire from the 61 of Keith Fonseca. Keith on the inside, Sam on the outside. Drag race down here, going to turn 3. As Sam able to defend the position area, able to keep the momentum, keep that truck rolling on the high side. But we saw Matt Wheeler get a little bit loose. He's back in this thing now in third and trying to apply the pressure to the 61 machine. As battles going all over this field, as Doug Neal trying to get around the 21 of Rob Lowe. We saw Rob get a little squirrely down coming off of turn 2, keeps it underneath him. Now Doug Neal will, now Rob Lowe actually tries to get under Jason Wiley here and cut that dog leg, get a little bit loose. Jason Wiley able to put the power down, get away from that 21, but that opens up the door for Doug Neal on the outside. Side by side going into 3. Doug has the momentum. Rob has the short way around the racetrack. We'll see who comes out on top. And like there, I said it before, I'll say it again. These drivers will have to know where the trucks are around them, especially in that dog leg, because all it would take one mistake thinking that a truck may go low, they stay high like that, or vice versa, and there'll be contact, and it'll probably be detrimental to both trucks involved, as any sort of contact in that high-speed dog leg where you're throttling, full throttle out, not lifting, can things will happen in a hurry. As this top 3 has kind of checked out here a little bit, about half a second in between all of them, trying to figure out where they're running, and it looks like kind of like real life folks trying to get that high side rolling, trying to carry that momentum. As Matt Wheeler almost gets into the wall. He may have just tagged it with the right rear. But Keith Fonseca in the 61. Slowly reeling in Sam Dryce. Got to give a quick greetings to all the people in the YouTube chat land. We got Jeff Crosby Jr. cheering on Jeff Crosby Sr. in the 33 Skull Machine. Jeff out here in 18th, keeping that truck underneath him, keeping it in one piece, waiting for the carnage to happen around him. I'd say a pretty smart move with how crazy things happen, how quickly things happen here. As I say, that 3 wide action here for the 13th, 14th, and 15th position as they sort of back out going into turn 2. And we, of course, got the podcast itself, the Joe Sixpack podcast, saying its greetings. And contact further on up. Looks like the 21 machine of Rob Lowe with some heavy damage. We will have to see what brought out the yellow flag in the replay. And man, looks like maybe him in some contact with the A of Kevin Gironi may have brought out that yellow flag. So we will have to see what maybe happened there. But some hard contact overall for the 21 machine as that thing is smoking, and we'll have to use up a fast repair. As we see the rest of the field come on down pit road for 4 fresh tires and some fuel. As Jeff Crosby Jr. says, tires will play a factor, and I agree, tires will become a huge factor in this race, especially with the low banking, high-speed corners of Phoenix. We also got the man himself, Roger, up here saying he was just here last night. Well, hopefully you guys cleaned off all the debris, hopefully the race went well for you last night, because this one has been a barn burner so far, and I don't think it's going to let on up as we are already 17 laps down of the 90. Yeah, Rob with an unlucky break there for that 21 machine, but luckily he gets a fast repair. We'll come on out with a new car once again, and we'll be back in action. As like always, folks, if you have been watching, 2 fast repairs available for these drivers, so Rob Lowe will use one of the 2 already. A little bit early to be using it, but with that much damage, you have no choice but to use it. And of course, 2 sets of tires over the wall, so 3 in total with the ones on. So they already used 1 set already, so they will have 1 more for the rest of this race. And actually, coming out of pit road, Keith Fonseca took over the race lead. So the 61 will lead us to green, Matt Wheeler to his outside, and Sam Dryce with a little bit slow of a pit stop will start in P3. As the lights are extinguished on the pace car, we are going green here, and we'll wait for the 61 to fire on off. As we pace here, get ready for the 61 to fire on off. He'll probably wait till he can get a straight shot at the start-finish line. That's the one thing with this new Phoenix layout. The start-finish line is so far down from where pit road entrance is. It takes a while to see it. Once you get a good shot at it, you're going, and that's what Keith Fonseca did there. And we are back green flag racing. Sam Dryce with an awesome restart will challenge Keith here on the start as he cuts the bootleg, and we'll have a side-by-side battle going into turn 2 for the race lead. Keith trying to float it on the high side, but Sam on brand new tires making that inside work, carrying that momentum, and he has checked on out. Now that opens the door for Matt Wheeler to try and take over second place once again. As David Hartney with a big time slide does an awesome job saving it. Jason Wiley had to get out of the gas to not get in the back of that 97 machine, but some intense racing here as they are side by side, 2 rows deep here for third on back. Ethan Michaels with that 01 machine trying to charge up to the front. Same with Doug Neal. Doug didn't have the best qualifying run, but making it work here in the race. Already up 4 positions and continued to go that way. As John Humphreys may have taken 2 tires. He was up 12 spots after that pit stop, but he is falling back slowly here with the trucks around him. I have to see if maybe that setup in that Ford truck may be going away under him for a short run. Maybe they built it more for the long run. As Doug Neal further on up, looking to the inside of Ethan Michaels. Not quite there, but Ethan Michaels now looking under the 61 car, so almost 3 wide here as they go to the dogleg. Side-by-side action now for second, now to third is Doug Neal able to roll that inside, but now the 61 will have the run as the 4 car in the back there all over the place keeps it under and keeps it going in the right direction, but that'll definitely slow him on down, slow down the cars around him. As Keith Fonseca started on the lead at that restart, now down to the 5th position. John Humphrey being pressured all over by the 70 car of Mike Killenbeck. Killenbeck, I'm pretty sure was on his bumper pushing him through that corner. Now the 70 car will go to the high side, try and carry that momentum and get around that 4 car as quickly as possible. And then further on back there, Eli Raposa in that 46 dirtbag machine trying to get around the 4. Same with the 6th of Johnny Barker. Eli stuck right behind him. He'll try and go to the high side now. As there are battling all over this racetrack here tonight. Some awesome racing. There's contact between the 33 and the 4. The 4 gets, of course, iRacing hit in the wall, may get stuck, and that also collected. Let's see if we can see when he flips around here. The 76 machine of Joe Nelson also involved. So we saw that unfold live right in front of us, folks. The 4 may have gone around off the nose of the 33. We will have to see the replay here. As we see here, I think the 4 car was on 2 tires, so his setup was struggling. Everyone able to roll the corners way better, especially this sweeping turns 1 and 2. And the 33 just got to the left rear right under throttle. That turned the 4. He was going to maybe save it, but then got clipped by the 76 and 76 machine hard into both walls there. So some more fast repairs will have to be used. We jump up to the front. Sam Dreiss, once again the race leader, but up 6 positions and looking to make it 7. Doug Neal in that Simbox 77 machine will be starting to his outside. And we got some pit takers on pit road, so that'll throw some more strategy in this thing. As Keith Fonseca, who was in the 5th position, did come down pit road, so maybe he did not pit. That'll be a interesting development. See where that 61 machine can drive up back through with some fresh tires compared to the trucks around him. As the lights are extinguished on the pace car, that means we will be going green, this time by. Unlike the initial start for Sam, he can go whenever he feels like it once the pace car safely makes it down pit road, and it will make the hard left-hand turn now. So the restart falls in the hands of the 78 truck. The 78 will wait till he gets a straight shot at the line, and then we'll fire on off. As he waits a good little bit, the 78 is off, and we are a green flag race once again here at the Canadian Tire. Geez, I'm thinking of the road course, folks. The Canadian Convoy 90 here at Phoenix. We're not quite up in Canada for the Canadian Tires. As Sam Dries continues to lead the way, Ethan Michaels with an awesome restart takes over second place, but Doug Neal now with the momentum goes to the inside of the 01, so battling side by side for the second position. Ethan able to carry the momentum. Doug trying to get it to stick as he gets loose in the dogleg there with the transition. Now he'll be able to have the preferred line, but the 01 will carry the momentum, especially coming off the corner and down the backstretch here. As the 8 car of Kevin Gironi in the backstretch wall there, Ethan Michaels able to defend the position and reclaim it from the 77. Now David Hartney under fire from the 8 as he cuts the dogleg all the way down low. Tries to make this track as short as possible as the 8 car really carrying the momentum well on the high side. You see him maybe clear the 97 once they get to turn 3. As David Lomaga hard in the outside wall. He is going to fall back a good bit here. As we continue to look at the side-by-side battle. 3 wide almost. As Jason Wiley will try and stick it to the inside. 3 wide going into turn 1 as they are spinning behind them. The 6 car of Johnny Barker with Keith Fonseca also involved. We will have to see what brought out this yellow flag. As we see here, a little bit of mistiming in the dogleg. Like I said, Keith Fonseca thought the 6 was going to be up higher, came up through the dogleg, and got into the door of the 6 machine. So, like I was saying before, folks, it's very easy to do, especially if you're on a single screen, can't see out your right side. And we'll watch what happens as they go 3 wide through the dogleg. 61 thought the 6 was going to be higher on up. Started to go up back to the racing line and just inadvertent contact due to not realizing where trucks are at. So a bummer for one of the early front runners, the 61 machine, with some contact, and the 6 machine some contact there. A bummer for both those drivers. As we just have clicked over to a third of the way in, 2/3 of the race to go. And this thing has been action-packed, folks. Hopefully you guys are enjoying this as much as I am, because I feel like I haven't stopped talking this whole race. As they line up right now, the biggest mover of the race so far is Mike Killingbeck in that Marine 70 machine. He is up 11 positions from where he started, so he is trending that truck in the right direction. Hopefully he can keep it moving. As a great run, a great third of the run so far for that 70 truck. As we see here, the lights are extinguished once again on the iRacing pace car. We will be going green next time by. As we'll see once again, if that inside line is very preferred, we'll see Doug Neal probably get in a battle with Ethan Michaels here, as this high side, especially starting P2, is a pretty large disadvantage. As we will wait for us to go green here. We'll wait for the 78 to fire off, and Ethan Michaels with an awesome start pretty much matched the 78 right to the door, so there'll be a drag race going into turn 3 as Doug Neal will try and find his way in there as well. And with this craziness, they sort it on out for the most part, but we will jump to the 13 of Jason Wiley as he tries to overtake David Hartney in that 97 machine. We'll go back a little bit further and maybe try and ride on board with Keith Fonseca for the Joe Sixpack onboard machine. And we see just how crazy it is here as you try and get through the traffic, try and hit the lines, and try and not spend the least amount of time behind the trucks around you as they try and get to clean air. As, oh, big time contact with the 61, and I think the 60 of there. As they do keep it going the right direction. And no yellow flag, so we will have to see if maybe the 60 will remember that later in this race. As you see here, folks, just the amount of lines and what it takes to get around here. All about, this track is such a field track. It's all about floating in there, trying to make sure that you try and do their best, trying to push the truck to the limit, the best time without wrecking it, without blowing off those tires, because those tires are all important. We see Keith really cut that dog leg trying to get around that 76 machine of Joe Nelson. Surprised we haven't heard it too much. Not too many trucks shifting. As the run goes on, you may hear someone try and downshift for going into 1 or 2 there, but as of right now, mostly keeping it in 4th. The 61 is on the move, one of the trucks with the freshest tires. That's why I want to jump on, see how he's managing these tires. He's slowly catching the trucks in front of him. Next truck in front of him, Eli Raposa in the 46 Dirtbag machine. As we get another yellow flag here on the speedway, we will have to go see what brought it on out. As we will go, I believe it had involved the 60. We will go back further and maybe try and see what happened. As we see them going into turn 3 here. And oh man, some contact between the 60 and the 21, and a big time shot to the 60 and a big time shot to the left side of that truck once he hits the wall. So probably will be a fast repair used for the 60 truck. The 21 may get away without one, but some big time contact for the 60 of Matt Wheeler. As that will pretty much split us up perfectly halfway in this race. As we look up to the front again, Sam Drice continues to lead this race, but has Doug Neal on that back bumper cover. As a quick side note for those keeping along with the points, Pick'em Up Cup Season 4 Championship, we are looking like the following. Brad Yuckman in the 93 machine, kind of running mid-pack tonight, keeping that thing quiet. I'm sure we'll see him turn it up for the second half of this race, is the overall points leader. With 3 points behind him, David Lomaga in the 34 machine, right in front of the top 10 there, is second in points. Also tied second in points is Levi McCartney. And I don't believe Levi made it out here tonight, so that's going to hurt the 51 machine's points a little bit here. And then in fourth in points, we got Keith Fonseca. And rounding out your top 5 in points, we got Wes Frank Norman, also tied with Eli Rapanza. As I jokingly say, it's Eli Raposa. In the 46 machine, will round out your top 5 in points, tied with points. So as the pace car pulls on off, we got Sam Drice once again leading us to another restart. He went way late last time. Let's see if he keeps that up, or if he goes a little bit early, it keeps everyone on their toes. As a 78, super slow on that start. I'm not sure if that's a clean start or not, as Doug Neal really got a great start on that 78. That 78 way down, losing a whole bunch of positions. So we'll have to see if that restart gets caught on back, if that's a clean start, or if that's good to go, as I believe he waited almost too long and after the green lights were shown. So Doug Neal now takes over the race lead with David Hartney in giving chase. As we see the leaders kind of single file out, but further on back some contact. The 60 machine of Matt Wheeler once again in another incident, so not the night that 60 machine has been wanting. As we go back further and try and see what may have caused it. I saw the 60 machine in the outside wall there, but we have to see what brought it on out. As Eli Raposa got a little bit loose down there, got to the right rear of the 60, and the 60 just an innocent bystander. Same with the 6. Some more hard contact for trucks already involved in earlier of incidents here tonight. So we will have to wonder how many more fast repairs these trucks have that have already been in incidents. So a tough night for a lot of the trucks in the top 5 in points. Like we said, we got Brad Yuckman here coming down pit road once again in that 93 Bengals machine. He is currently scored in the 14th position. So a big shakeup looking to take place in the points if this trend continues for tonight. As this time by, the light should get extinguished on the pace car, will be going green. The following time by, Doug Neal will be leading the way in that Simbox number 77 machine, up 7 positions. David Hartney will be starting to his outside in that Silent Theory Dirtbag Clothing's Racing Machine 97. And then third will be Ethan Michaels in that 01 Hoonigan. All these trucks have been up at the front all day long. Actually, we'll have an extended yellow for some lap down cars to be able to pit. Fourth place right now running is Sam Dryce in the 78 machine. And then rounding out your top 5 is Jason Wiley in that neon green 13 machine. As we get them double on up, lights are extinguished on the iRacing pace car. The restart will fall into the hands of Doug Neal once the pace car makes the hard left-hand turn down pit road. We will have to see when the leader decides to go. He definitely won't be waiting as long as Sam did that last restart, because we saw what happened to Sam. So 77 will have to go a little bit sooner than that. The question becomes, how soon does he go? As they are waiting for the 77 to fire, and he fires on off. We are once again here racing at Phoenix, as Sam Dryce tries to go to the high side of the 98, but will not be able to carry just quite enough momentum as he then tries to float that high side. Ethan Michaels, David Hartney door to door with Sam Dryce trying to apply the pressure on the high side. David Hartney with the momentum, that opens up the door for Sam to roll the high side as well. As David Hartney loose clipping the apron, does an awesome job keeping that truck underneath him. Loses a little bit of ground to the leader, but most importantly, he keeps that truck in one piece. He goes all the way up to the top side, trying to block that 78. 78 says, no sirree, I got enough momentum. He's able to roll the high side. They are side by side coming out of turn 2. Sam Dryce is a man on a mission here, trying to get back to that race lead that he lost on the restart. He's rolling that high side like no one I've seen yet out here tonight. As he will go all the way to the top, and once again will float that thing into turn 3. As the 97 tries to block, but oh man, heavy contact with the 01 and the 97. That will involve a lot of trucks. That will be a big one here tonight at Phoenix. We will have to try and get a replay of that and see what all unfolded. As we look up here, maybe not the best camera, as they were 3 wide. The 01 just may have not able to get that thing turned. The 55 comes in there off the bumper of the 70. The 8 nowhere to go, and then it will collect the 76 as well. So some hard impacts for a lot of trucks there, as we will look at it one more time. As we see the 01, yeah, just may have gotten in there a little too hot. That truck was not turning, trying to keep it off the 78. 55 hard into that outside wall Oh wait, nowhere to go, and the rest of the trucks scattering on through. As we'll try and go on board with the 70 maybe and see what he saw. As we'll see what the 70 of Mike Killenbeck saw from his point of view. You'll see it unfolded, folks, right in front of you. As the 01 gets into it, you see them kind of disappear, gets into the 55 a little, and some good right side contact, as you can see them still wrecking in his mirror. So heavy contact for a lot of front runner trucks here in that incident. As when it all cycles on out, looks like there were some takers down pit road on this caution. So when it all cycles on through, Wes Frank Norman in that We Rise to Fall Dirtbag Clothing 72 machine will take over the point with Keith Fonseca in that 61 starting to his outside. And then we rode on him with that incident. Mike Killenbeck, biggest mover of the race, will start in P3. So a big shakeup after that incident, especially with all the front runners involved. So the lights are extinguished on the pace car. We will be going green next time by. The race lead will be handed over to the Dirtbag Racing Machine of the 72, Wes Frank Norman. We'll have to see how he can pilot that truck with some clean air. It looks like the 61 may have some damage. We'll have to keep that in mind, see how that truck's running as well, because Doug Neal right there in the 4th position. He'll be looking to get back to the lead as quick as possible. As once we get to the line, we will be 2/3 down with this race, a third to go. As the 72 fires on off, we are back green flag racing as we will be side by side for P2. Interesting choice there. We saw Wes Frank Norman did not cut the dog leg at all, trying to keep that momentum on that truck rolling. So, an interesting choice there as Doug Neal looking for anywhere to get around these trucks in front of him, all over the back bumper of that 70 machine. As they head into turn 3, give the second place to the 70, but he pushes it, overdrives the corner a little bit. That hands the position over to the 77, but we'll see if the 70 can cross back over Doug Neal. It looks like no, so sliding back into P3 is now David Hartney, looking like a man on a mission here as well with those fresh tires. As Doug Neal already looking for the race lead, shoots to the inside going into turn 3 and will clear the 72 of Wes Frank Norman, so give the race lead back to the 77. Now David Hartney looking to do the same on those fresh tires. As he tries to reel in his teammate of the 72. As contact a little bit further on back, Greg Dreiss, oh man, one truck going up in the air. As we will go try and see what may have happened with the 78 to the outside of the 70 of Mike Killenbeck, and maybe a little bit of net code. sent the rear end kicking out of the 72. For sure some contact, but not that aggressive. And what a hit for the 70 up in the air. And some more hard hits for some fast trucks here. As bummer for Sam Dryce as he towed that 78 truck back to pit lane. So not what he wanted to see. As old Darrell Waltrip would say, cautions breed cautions, and that seems to be the trend here for a little bit. Now any of the guys that maybe didn't pit that yet last yellow will have to come in now, especially to get some fresh tires, trying to see what they can do. We have the likes of Keith Fonseca, David Lomaga on pit road as well. Same with the 8 of Kevin Gironi, who we saw go flying up in that air. Maybe used up all his fast repairs as we see that car not getting instantly fixed. And of course, tonight's Canadian Convoy 90 is presented by Greg's Lawn Care and Gardening. Be sure to check out Greg's Lawn and Care. I could say it right. Be sure to check out Greg's Lawn and Garden Care. Grow Better with Greg on Facebook if you have any gardening needs. Be sure he is the man to hit on up for that. That is tonight's sponsor for the Canadian Convoy 90 here at Phoenix International Speedway. As we are pacing here once again with 25 laps to go, we will try and see as we will double them up here. Lights are extinguished on the pace car. Next time by, we will be going green flag racing. Once again, the 77 machine has been great this second half of the race. We'll see if he can continue that trend. He will be firing off whenever he feels ready once the pace car, as the pace car makes the hard left-hand turn down pit road. Now we go down the long backstretch. As the 77 fires on off, we are green flag racing here with 24 laps to go. David Hartney with an awesome restart, able to cut that dog leg and clear his teammate of West Frank Norman going into 3. Ethan Michaels follows the way, so move the top 3 to single file already here early. As the 01 tries to go to the high side, gets the door slammed on him. We'll have to lift a little bit, keep off the wall and the bumper of the 97. So Ethan Michaels trying to make any sort of ground up, trying to keep that momentum going as we got 3 wide action here further on back in the pack with the 70, the 60, and the 76 as they are still 3 wide here going into turn 2. 70 of Killingback able to back on out of it, get on out of harm's way, but now the 61 able to apply the pressure and contact here once again in the back. That's Jeff Crosby Sr. in the Skull Machine with contact from Keith Fonseca. There's actually no yellow flag out here. Amazingly, I don't know how that didn't bring out a yellow. That was some hard contact for all those cars involved. As Wes Frank Norman under fire from the 13 of Jason Wiley was able to defend the position. As he now tries to reel in that 01 of Ethan Michaels. A little bit of fun facts about the 01 of Ethan Michaels. He's from over in the state of Kansas. He's racing for the Jets Racing, so pretty proud of that, you know. Glad to see a maybe not quite a fellow Jet, but you know, Jets Racing. Pretty cool to see that out of the 01 camp. And he is a two-time race winner in the Joe Sixpack Racing Next Gen series. So pretty cool stuff out of there. Favorite type of racing, of course, is NASCAR racing. Real life favorite racetrack is Charlotte. Charlotte is a great one, especially the Coke 600, a long race of attrition, but if you can win that, you won something big. And his favorite driver, a little bit old school for at least me, is Terry Labonte. As we go back up to the front, we got Doug Neal leading the way. And while we got some green flag racing, I say it's time to do a little crank it up. Back here, we got some sweet shots there of the cars out on track. Some sweet sounds thanks to the turn 3 crank it up. As we look back here, the top 3 has kind of spread on out, gotten to their own pace. We look at third place, Ethan Michaels here, a little bit ahead of him, about a second. We have David Hartney, and then about a second ahead of him is Doug Neal, still leading the way with 14 laps to go in this race. As they sit right now, our 6th place runner, another Dirtbag Racing driver, the 46 of Eli Raposa, is up 12 positions, trying to make it 13 if he can get around his teammate. About half a second in front of him there in that 72 machine. He is barely closing the gap, but he may run out of time. It'll be close to see if he gets there in time. As most everyone has single filed out, making sure that they can bring their truck to the end. as David Hartney is catching this race leader. We'll have to maybe jump on board with him one last time here for the Plan B sales in car of the 76 and see if how much time he's gaining. See maybe where he's gaining time. As you hear there, folks, he is shifting this 97 truck. So maybe that's what's allowing him to gain time on the 77. Really cutting that dog leg as low as he can go, but that 97 is downshifting both corners, trying to get as much speed as he can to reel in this leader. As this time by at the line, we see 2 open palms from the flagman. 10 laps to go. That 97 machine trying to make this track as short as possible, not worrying about that right front tire. We're putting a ton of wheel in that truck, just trying to make that track as short as possible. As he gains a ton of ground on that 77 machine on entry with that downshifting and driving it in deep, so he will have to keep that up. But where he'll ultimately get around him is a run off the corner, so we'll have to see how this works out as we click over. As the 97 now looks to the inside of the 77, battle for the race lead. 97 able to hold it on down, not quite carrying enough momentum, but what a battle here. Some close quarters racing for the race lead late in this race. As he hauls it in there right to the back bumper of the 77. Has to get on the brakes a little bit harder than he wants to, a little bit loose through the corner as well. That'll cause him to have a bad corner there. Has to reel back in all of this time now to the leader. Let's see if he has enough time to. As Doug Neal now knows he needs to crank it up and not let him get another chance to his back bumper.
I'm trying, sir.
As that time he gets a great run through the corner, able to close the gap a little bit on the leader, but we'll have to do that consistently for a few more laps to have a shot. As with that downshift, and that 97 is loose off the corner, wearing both that right front and that right rear tire, just trying to reel in this race leader. As Doug Neal just making sure he hits his marks, runs his consistent line, not make any mistakes to let that 97 have a easier chance at catching him. As you just see it with the driving out of the 97, he is laying it all on the table now that he has right rear damage as well. Pushing that truck to the limit, just trying his hardest to see if he can reel in this leader, giving it everything he's got in that driver's seat. As we see the flagman with 4 laps to go here. These two have checked out to a big gap. Over third place, Ethan Michaels still. Jason Wiley in 4th. Wes Frank Norman has now fallen to 5th. As they have been kind of matching lap times here for the last couple laps. I don't think David Hartney will get there in time as we look at the numbers here. As you see now, Hartney maybe losing a little bit of time to Doug Neal here as we see popsicle sticks up in the air. 2 laps to go around Phoenix for the Canadian Convoy 90. As Doug Neal just needs to hit his marks for another lap and a half. And he will come home with the win. As we see the white flag out, 1 lap to go, presented by LugCoin. Doug Neal will take the white flag here as the leader. David Hartney giving chase, but not enough. David Hartney losing some time on the leader. 77 just needs to float it around this corner one final time as he goes down the backstretch now. As the track is clear in front of him, he does his due diligence, keeps the 97 behind him, and Doug Neal in the Simbox 77 machine will be tonight's winner here at Phoenix. David Hartney will bring it home in third with a great battle, a hard charge. Ethan Michaels in third, Jason Wiley in the green machine number 13 in fourth, and rounding out your top 5 in the We Rise to Fall 72 machine of Wes Frank Norman. So some great racing here at Phoenix. I know I was on my feet, on my toes for the most part, as we'll see Doug Neal burn it on down for the fans at home on the front stretch.
You doing top 3 interview?
Yeah, Brett and Jeff in the interviews already.
As we will watch him burn it on down for all his Doug Neal fans at home. What a finish, what a race.
One of our cleaner races we've had so far this season.
And how about those burnouts, folks? That was some pretty sweet stuff. I think he's had a few times to do this, as he's pretty good at doing those burnouts. But we will go to commercial, and we'll come back right with some post-race interviews.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic, real-world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $400,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Because I got in a little bit of trouble about 2/3 of the way through the race. I just had a real hard time saving the right front going into turn 3. I feel like the 2 people who finished ahead of me did it better than me, and I think they absolutely deserved it. But just a little bit more practice on this track. Probably could have had something for them, but not today.
Yeah, Ethan, it looked like those front 2 were out in their own zip code. Yeah, I asked you how your race was, how's the 01 car, but besides that, maybe looking through it, a little bit of besides that with the truck, how was the track overall? It seemed like a lot of people able to use different lines, and was cutting the dog leg worth it, or was it wearing out your tires here as the race went on?
I feel like if you're in a battle, like cutting the dog leg steep wasn't as worth it, because you wanted to have that outside going through turn 1 in order to hold your position and then get the run off of before you get into turn 3. I definitely felt like that was good, but if you had clean air and you wanted to make up a little space, you could cut it as hard as you want. Didn't feel like it hurt the tires too much, but these trucks have enough clearance where you aren't going to hurt the underside or the aerodynamics at all by jumping it.
All right. And then the last thing, it seemed like the restarts were very important. We saw a lot of craziness out of those. It seemed like you wanted to be on the inside line when that green flag fell. Is that true?
100%. There was plenty of times where I passed 3, 4, 5 people on a restart, one of those later restarts within the first lap, and it was all because I got a good run on the inside. I was able to cut that dog leg and then beat them to where they wanted to be into turn 1.
Alrighty, awesome, Ethan. Appreciate all the insight. Once again, congratulations on the 3rd place. That 01 seemed to have a ton of speed here at Phoenix tonight. But before we let you go, I'm sure there's got to be a whole bunch of people you got to give a shout out to. Thank you to.
The Monster Energy truck was fast. Gave me a lot of energy. Too bad I didn't have enough to keep up with the other guys. But other than that, I'd like to thank my dad and then my girlfriend for their support.
Alrighty, Ethan. Well, congratulations on the 3rd place once again. I'm sure we'll be talking to you more in the future. But go out there and enjoy it.
All right, thank you. You too.
Alrighty, folks. That was our 3rd place finisher, Ethan Michaels, in the 01 machine. Now we'll talk to our runner-up driver. He gave it his all. He tried his best, but just was 1 spot short. David Hartney, you got a copy?
Yeah, Brett, what's going on?
Oh, man, up here in the booth having a great time. How is it out there on track? I heard you shifting there at the end. What was maybe going through your mind? How was that truck running there, trying to reel down the leader?
Yeah, most of the time, I mean, we could get a better run off the corners through 3 and 4. And then if we cut that dog leg super sharp like I was, it was working. But doing that for 8 laps got the fronts pretty hot, and I just lost grip the last 2 or 3 laps where I just couldn't catch them anymore. I was keeping up with them, but I just couldn't push it any harder than that.
Gotcha. Yeah, it seemed like you were catching him pretty good, but then, yeah, like you said, your tires were probably going away. You had your 1 shot at him, couldn't quite make it stick on his inside. Doug Neal was on a mission, able to hit his marks every single lap, and I could tell you were driving that wheels off that 97 machine, just trying anything you could to try and find some speed to try one more shot at that 77 truck.
Man, the Silent Theory number 97 was real fast tonight. I mean, we did a great job coming up from 6th to 2nd. So definitely not going to complain. Our team strategy this week was a lot of tire conservation, and that's kind of where it worked out best for us. I mean, we weren't always the fastest, but we could last longer if you will.
Yeah, it seemed like once again you guys hit the nail on the head with the setup. Just 1 spot short of the best one, but overall not too much to complain about for this 97 dirtbag clothing machine. But before we let you go, David, I'm sure there's got to be a whole bunch of people you got to give a thank you shout out to.
Absolutely. My family, my wife and kids for giving me the time to be able to do this. My family for watching there on the YouTubes. Silent Theory and Dirtbag Clothing and all my teammates, man, I wouldn't be here without you guys and the support that y'all give us. So again, thank you to everybody for making this happen.
Alrighty, awesome, David. I'm sure we'll be talking to you here soon as you are putting together some consistently very, very good runs here. And go enjoy your 2nd place, and look forward to talking to you probably next week at Texas.
I appreciate it, Brett. You have a good one.
Yep, you as well. Now we will make our way down to Victory Lane and try and talk to tonight's race winner, Doug Neal. Doug, do you got a copy?
Hey, Brett, I got you, buddy. How you doing?
Oh, pretty good, pretty good. Probably not as good as you, so you got the win tonight. How's that feeling for that 77 Simbox machine?
I'm feeling pretty good. I don't think I was the fastest during practice at all. Wasn't even close. I think I was like 12th, maybe 9th, something like that. And I didn't think I was going to have a very good finish here tonight. So I just said, you know what? I'm going to try to save my tires as best I can. And hopefully everybody will burn their stuff up. And Sam made a mistake on that restart, and that helped me get up in the front there. I think he started in 4th gear, and from there he got hung up in somebody's mess. And but yeah, I'm pretty pumped about how we came out of here with a win tonight.
Yeah, that 77 Simbox machine had a speed. Like you said, it had the long run speed here tonight. David applied the pressure to you, especially getting to your inside there in 3 and 4, but that you didn't crack at all, able to hit your marks lap after lap and defend the position and bring it home in Victory Lane.
Yeah, he was coming there for a while, and I thought he was going to get underneath me that one time, but I got a pretty good run off running the middle that time when he was underneath me, and I was able to hold him off. But I could tell he started. I believe he started shifting, and yeah, he really was coming on, and he started running that bottom line coming off of 4 down the dog leg, running low, and he was really catching me then. So I was like, you know what, I might as well start running that line too. I wasn't running as low as him to start with, and I seen how low he was getting down there, and he was really catching me. So I tried to copy his line there. So
Yeah, we did ride on board with the 97, and he was, in fact, shifting there at the end. It definitely seemed like he was driving it in the corners way harder than you, just trying everything he could to get out of that 97 machine, just to try and get to your bumper, apply the pressure to you, but you did an awesome job, Doug.
appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
So looking forward, Doug, we got Texas next week. Is that a good track for you, that mile and a half? I know it's not everyone's favorite, that's for sure.
No, 1 and 2 gives me a problem, big time. But I mean, I'm okay there. I'm not great, but hopefully top 10 maybe.
All righty, Doug. Well, I look forward to it. It seems like when you got the pace, you're definitely a force to be reckoned with here at most tracks. You always seem to find your way inside the top 5, if not the top 3. But before we let you go, celebrate it down in Victory Lane. I'm sure there's got to be a whole bunch of people you got to thank for the 77 crew here tonight.
Absolutely. My spotter, Nate Maurer, he's always with me when I'm racing. Of course, my company, Simbox, if anybody's looking for a button box, I'll be glad to help you out. Just message me on Facebook, Simbox PC on Facebook, or you can just send me a message to Doug Neal and do custom work, and I'll be glad to help you out.
All righty. Awesome, Doug. Well, congratulations on the big win here tonight.
Thanks, buddy.
It was a show to be watched. I know I had a blast in the booth. I'm sure everyone rewatching this, watching live, got a kick out of it. And you go celebrate down in Victory Lane. I'll be back down there after I wrap it up here in the booth.
Thanks, Brett. I appreciate it, buddy. Have a good night.
Yep, you as well, Doug.
Thank you, sir.
So that was our race winner, Doug Neal, in the Simbox number 77 machine. And wow, what a race tonight. As you see here, folks, fans all up on their feet. Not a single fan sitting down for that finish. For this whole race, I don't think I saw anyone sitting down. This race was action-packed, had everything you could ask for, and including a close finish at the end. So we will go through tonight's finishing order and see where everyone ended on up. As we see here, we have the Canadian Convoy 90 presented by Greg's Lawn and Garden Care here at Phoenix Results. Doug Neal in the 77 Simbox Motorsports truck picks up the win and takes home the win. David Hartney in the 97 Dirtbag Racing Machine brings it home in second. Third place is Ethan Michaels in the Jets Racing truck. Fourth is Jason Wiley in the 13. And rounding out your top 5 is Wes Frank Norman. Sixth is Eli Raposa in the 46. Seventh is Keith Fonseca in the 61. Eighth is David Lomaga in the 34. Brad Yuckman brings it home in 9th in the 93. And rounding out your top 10, Joe Nelson with a great bounce back. We saw him involved in all sorts of incidents tonight. Brings it home in the 10th position. Mike Killingback brings it home in P11. 12th is Matt Wheeler. 13th was Mike Rosenberger in the 55. 14th was Jeff Crosby Sr. in the 33. Sam Drice, one of the Hard Luck Awards here tonight, will finish all the way back in the 15th position. 16th is Kevin Gironi in the 8th. 17th is Johnny Barker in the 6th. 18th is Rob Lowe in the 21, another Hard Luck Award. And then 19th is John Humphreys, rounding out your field in the 4-car. So overall, a great race. I can't wait to go into Texas. Texas, a mile and a half. Much different than this place. Texas with the repave, a interesting track. I know a lot of people aren't a fan of it, but it still puts on some good racing. Can't wait to see these truckers down in the Lone Star State. Everything bigger at Texas, so can't wait to see that here. But Doug Neal, class act of tonight, especially second half of this race. First half was Sam Dryce, got involved in some incidents, got shuffled mid-pack, and could never come back out of it, whereas Doug Neal took advantage of that and able to bring home the win. So this was the Canadian Convoy 90, presented by Greg's Lawn and Garden Care. Be sure if you need any sort of garden care, look up Greg's Lawn and Garden Care on Facebook and make yourself an appointment. He is the man to go to. Of course, we got to give a shout out to Plan B Sales. Use code JSP at checkout for free shipping. We got to give a shout out to Soma Coffee, as well as DTL Custom Graphics and the Joe Six Pack Podcast. Also, be sure keep an eye on LugCoin, even though it's the charter currency for this place. Always cool to keep up on the values of that. So cool stuff over here at the Joe Six Pack Racing League, having their own coin for their charter system. So always cool stuff here. Be sure to check them out on Facebook at Joe Six Pack Racing League. This has been Brett the Jet from Turn 3 Racing Network. A great one here from Phoenix. Be sure to tune in next week for Texas. And as I always say, folks, be safe. Hope you enjoy it. Thanks again to all the comments out here. We got Jeff, Roger, Chris, all those guys, Rob, and everyone else that commented. Got to give a shout out to you. Got to give a shout out to all the live viewers, all the replay viewers. This is all thanks to you guys. And remember, be safe, have a good night, and just flew by you. See you guys next week.